recap. Gozar.
Did you want to?
Do you want to start recording for the recap, or?
Oh shit!
You've been recording the whole time.
No, I started recording as soon as Mike got here.
Oh,
Okay.
When the fuck did you do that?
You didn't see
When
it.
I leaned over to the computer and
Right.
clicked some buttons.
Pants. Continue.
Pants. Gozar.
What did Gozar do last time? Started calling him father.
No, that was the time before. You visited Jane.
Oh, that's right. I did.
Who?
It's been a while. His daughter.
Both times it made him uncomfortable.
I'm sorry, who?
Jane wants me to murder her father.
That's not what she said.
You don't know that.
She
don't
was
know
much
that.
more tactful.
It's more tackle, but bottom line, that's essentially what it is.
No, I'm not going to argue that statement.
Always listen to the DM.
No, this is powered by the
One.
apocalypse. My authority is significantly reduced.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of. I spent most of the time just talking to her, plotting. I did use. I did snag some of her hair, so I can copy her if need be, and use that.
You did.
Yep.
The brush. And then
I thought you had to have sex with her first.
And then she forgot.
No, I'm thinking
Nope.
of.
Different move.
That's a different move.
Oh.
No, he can do that if he has sex with her, or he can get her hair because he's
Okay.
got another move that lets.
Oh,
him do
that's
that.
right. My mistake.
For those people I don't want to have sex with. I don't think really Gozar did much more than that. I know I went to go visit. I visited Torin.
Yep, and you had a very fun scene with Roderick.
Oh my
Actually,
god.
Yeah. We did have fun scene with Robert. That's right.
Melted his hands.
I burned his hands off.
Mm-hmm.
His wooden hands down to nothing, and he
He's not
ran
much-
away.
Gentled him up a bit.
He ran away scared.
Gozar's balls dropped a lot last session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of coming into his
Now I think that's it for Gozar.
Torin.
Yeah. What did Torin do? I wrote everyone else down. I didn't write down what I did. What did
Well, you
Torin do?
had your fingers in a lot of pies
I
there.
did have a lot of pie fingers. See, did I talk? I talked to
Antonia?
Gertrude. Talked to Gertrude. Asked her what's going on with Felix, if she was back, and what's going on.
Yep.
What else?
Felix eventually came to see you.
Yes. And with Felix, he seemed distant. And he was. Oh yeah. Yes, I remember. Felix. Just before I told him about Antonia's sort of infidelity to her faith, and he wanted some sort of proof to take her down. So I gave him a sealed letter with my signet on it, sealed. So he has that.
And we'll find out later what's in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what else happened.
You had a brief meeting with Gozar, right?
I did, just to talk about, hey,
Stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what was it specifically about?
I don't think it was anything major. I think it was talking about like when the wedding was going to be.
1 week.
Yeah.
1 week.
Yeah.
It coincides with another thing that's happening.
What is that?
What was that thing?
We'll get to it.
We'll get to that. Anyway,
That's what
Felix.
that's saying.
Things are heating up. So, you may have been upstairs last time. I think that you were upstairs while that went down, and then
What
you
happened?
came down for a recap.
We'll find out.
Don't worry, you'll find out.
Those are his goodies to spill. Yeah. So Felix broke in. He stormed into Antonia's chamber looking for dirt because before he left for the blight, Torin.
I'm fine.
Torin told Felix that he was slapping uglies or whatever with Antonia, and so
Bumping Beautifuls.
and,
It's all a matter of perspective.
and since Felix has had this like great awakening since he's gone out to the blight. He's seen like the like impending doom that is befalling Fallcrest, and that has spurred him into action. So he's coming back and he's stirring a lot of shit up because they're like high politicking back here, and they're basically like this is our last stand, and they're not seeing it.
Rearranging the deck chairs while the Titanic goes down.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And then I couldn't find anything in Antonia's chamber, so then I went to Torin to try to get troops to get the head of the Blight Dryad back to show people and try to kind of like rally forces there. And I told Torin that I was going to bring Antonia under formal inquiry so I can take control of the Star of the North.
Yep.
To basically like rally forces against like the impending doom or whatever.
Cool. Beatrix.
So Beatrix has been up to a little bit since everyone else thinks she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
She's taken control, more or less, of the Blight. Her god is the force behind the Blight, and she is planning to bring down Fallcrest. And one of the ways by which she has engineered this is that the steep mountains around the city, she has used her reavers to essentially to unearth veins of magma which are now flowing directly toward the city, and which will impact the city within a week. She's also burrowing tunnels underneath the city walls.
Yep. So she's undermining the city walls, and there was one other thing that was
Yes.
of interest.
So she whispered into the unspeakable power and got in touch with Felix. And whispered honeyed words into his ear about how all of those around him are lying to him and that she never will.
I see you, sneak thief. I think you were talking about something else though. You were talking about damming the river. Or did that get retconned out?
That's
We did. So is that retconned or not?
No. Like it's. I'm saving it for another piece of the plan. I've got something else planned that I'm going to do first.
Okay.
Before I look into that.
Okay, so we'll put a pin in that.
Yeah.
All right. So first off here, I want to check in with Felix. What are you up to?
So Felix just left Torin's room, and he just got some signed mysterious letter that Torin agreed to give evidence to Felix of Antonia's misdeeds, and he sealed it. The sneaky fucker.
Is that correct, Torin? Is that what's in there, or is something else in there? Out of character here.
So out of
Do
character?
you want me to step out of the room?
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. So out of character. In the letter is a sworn confession of his infidelity with Antonia,
Okay.
and he goes into great detail.
But it's not really him. It's his brother, or someone else.
No, this is you.
Oh yeah,
Like
it's me.
Torin was
kidding.
literally fucking Antonia
I know.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
for years.
Great detail.
Great detail.
I was kidding. Like he framed what's
Roderick?
his name? No,
Any other man would have been like okay detail.
The one
But it was
that
Torin,
died.
So it was great detail.
Oh, I don't remember.
That he's not referencing the amount. He's referencing the quality.
That's right.
And like he goes in like oh, she has a freckle on her like lower back just above.
Absolutely.
And he was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, he wrote it in the third person.
Yeah.
It's like
That would be
it's like
that would
erotic
totally be a
fan
Torin
fiction
thing.
he wrote about himself.
that would totally be a Torin thing, and it's
It was
third
the
person.
best. It was the best.
He was so muscular.
He was
I would not expect it.
He was
under his
epic.
robes.
It's like 5 pounds of parchment.
Boom! Here you go.
He gave the best sex. No other sex was ever as good.
Antonia was breathless.
I have on high authority.
Anyway,
That's all canon.
So, so I left his quarters. I dropped off. What's his face?
Shit. The guy from Torin's guard that was sent with you.
Timur.
Yep.
So now that I'm in the
Correct.
the keep, what's
Okay.
nothing? Sorry. What's Torin's family's name?
Baleford. Torin Baleford. Torin Baleford.
So I'm gonna visit Gertrude Baleford while I'm in the keep.
Really? Sneaky. Okay.
So I will knock on her chambers or attempt to find her chambers and then.
All right. So
Seek counsel.
if you let's gloss over finding her chambers. You knock on her door. She throws it open and immediately begins saying, "Lord Torin, I thought we conclude." Oh. Hello.
Looking up the honor move, do you know who I am?
Yeah, there we go.
Good use for it. Well, he's looking that up. Who's my right hand guy again? I forgot to write it down last time.
Fuck!
I have it.
No. You do your thing.
I've got it. I've got your move, Mike.
Okay.
Roll. So
What
spend.
page is that on, dear?
It's on 43.
43, okay.
Spend one honor to have.
Ivor! Fuck.
Spend one honor to have someone you've met recently, or you've met have recently heard something impressive about you. Take +1 forward on your next threaten with force or persuade with leverage roll against them.
Okay.
Or do you want to call on your faction?
No, I'll just do you know who I am. So I'll burn the honor from my character sheet.
Okay.
So I'll to kind of see if she knows of me, or if she's heard of me. I'm assuming yes because she reported on my return to Torin.
Yes. Yeah, she's aware of your comings and goings. And it takes her a moment because she hasn't seen you since the council, but she does recognize you. Executor Felix, is that correct?
I'll give a kind of sweeping bow. So
respectful.
I was wondering if you had a moment that we could talk in private.
How very scandalous. Do come in.
I'll say that I'm certain that you've heard of our expedition of the Blight. I believe I saw you at the council, and you seem to be someone who keeps appraised of lots of details like that.
So she takes a step closer to you and places a hand on your chest.
Nice.
Yes, and we are also very grateful for your heroism in this expedition.
I will keep my poker face on, and try to. Lady Belford, I come here with a serious question about your husband.
So she takes another step closer to you and runs her hand down your face. Please, call me Gertrude. And why must we discuss such boring matters of state?
Your attention is flattering, my lady. I wonder, your husband is a man who sits on a seat of great power. Is this something that you find yourself interested in as well?
So she screws up her face and turns away as if she's flirting with you.
Yeah.
Oh, Executive Felix. I don't pretend to such, lofty goals of power. I'm very satisfied with my position. What is it that I could help you with?
Do you find...
She's more shrill, isn't she? She's more... What is it that I can help you with?
There you go.
Yeah.
There's too many voices to keep
That makes,
track of. I'm
that makes
sorry.
my hair stand up. That's more like it. Do you find your husband to be a faithful and trustworthy man?
So she freezes for a second, and then turns back to you to shoot you a cool look and says, "My husband's business is his own, and my business is my own."
I see. This is panning out differently than I expected. So I'll say that.
Oh my, that's a big hammer.
I don't know what to say about that. So
I've successfly derailed this, so I'm going to give you a second to get on back on track.
That's okay.
It just says to all
this
the
is fun.
executors.
So I will. I'll say that since our expedition out in the Blight, a great veil has been pulled out from before my eyes, and I have seen the doom of Fallcrest.
So you're very serious when you say this,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So she picks up on that and sort of drops the whole flirty thing. What do you mean, executor?
We've encountered the source of the Blight and the death that is closing in around Fallcrest. And it has given me resolve to come back and form any hope that we have of survival.
So she clasps her hands and turns back to you very seriously. With all due respect, executor, why do you bring this to me?
The leaders of Fallcrest have become irretractably distracted in petty politics. This is this is the last stand of Fallcrest, and I hope to shore up defenses before we're too late for the leaders to realize.
So, and she lowers her voice as much as she can while still being heard. What you're saying here inches towards treason, but I only want the best for Fallcrest, and in particular my children. If entirely unrelated to our discussions, if something terrible were to befall our Lord and Ruler, Lord Torin, authority would rest in my daughter Jane, who is a shrewd young woman who I'm sure would lead us with wisdom and grace.
And until a time, the reason I was asking about your interest in power is until a time that she came of age, I would assume that I believe that you, or would you not assume those responsibilities?
Well, my daughter Jane would be the heir to the power, but I would obviously, as her mother, be a key advisor.
So I will take out the sealed letter that Torin just wrote to me.
Okay. You giving it to her?
I said that this this document is going to hopefully set into motion the plan that I spoke of, and I'll hand it to her. I'll hand it to her without letting go of it, and I'll say, and I'm going to tell her that with this, I hope to correct the failure in leadership in Fallcrest.
So she's going to kind of yank on it to see if she can get away from you. Can she get away from you?
I'm not letting it go yet. I'm gonna tell her that it's sealed, and I'm going to need this, and I'm going to need your confidence, and I want some kind of affirmation out of her before I let it go.
She's disappointed that she doesn't get to dish the dirt here.
Yeah.
But let's see. I think it's appropriate to ask for you to persuade
leverage?
with leverage
Yeah.
here.
And
And
I
you're
get
going to get to take +1 because you did
honor.
the Do You Know Who I Am? But I think whether or not you have her confidence here is going to depend on this roll.
Nice.
So
It would
has she
be fun
opened it?
for
Has she opened
Torin
it yet?
to like walk in.
Yeah, right.
That'd be cool.
That'd be a good failure outcome.
Yeah.
You know, like Torin just like steps
Stop
out
giving
from
me
behind
ideas,
one of
man.
9 plus 1 plus whatever stat it is to.
What stat is that? We should check. Hey, rules!
It's Wiley.
Fucking
It's
rule
Wiley.
book.
I know because Beatrix has failed
So many
Time.
Wiley rolls.
and time
It's 11.
time ago.
11.
So it's a failure.
All right, yeah. So you have her confidence. So if something were to happen to Lord Torin, whether by death or by removal from power in shame, she would be an ally in terms of putting Jane in a position of power and advising her that this executor Felix guy is on the up and up.
And I'll tell her that this could not just, assuming we survive, this could also benefit the family Baleford. I'm sure that Jane could, choose from any young suitor in Fallcrest, like what a position they would assume, or, for...
So she pats your shoulder and definitely has a mischievous look in her eye. Oh, I know. Jane will have whomever she desires. Fret not.
Yeah, and I don't know about all the shenanigans like that. So I'll let go of the sealed document.
You're gonna give it to her?
I tell her I need it back, but I'm letting her look at it.
So she turns it
And
over
it's serving two purposes: to see what's in it, and also if it is what Torin says it is, to basically give her proof too.
Okay. So she's gonna turn it over in her hands, walk over to a desk, pull out an envelope knife or letter knife, and she's gonna slip it in under the fold. She's gonna look to you for permission first.
I think it would be more convincing if it were sealed, but I'm interested about I'm interested about the contents as well.
So with that, she removes the knife. She puts it down. She walks over to a nearby wall and pulls a cord, and 3 servants come up.
Dirty Gertrude, gah.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
She's just very sneaky. We've established this. And she says to them, "We need to open a letter clandestinely." And they nod, and they go get another group of people who have a bunch of specialized equipment, some steaming pots, some replacement parchment, and there's this whirlwind of activity. You are completely befuddled by what's happening in front of you.
In disbelief.
Yeah, they remove the seal on the envelope. It is entirely intact when they remove it. There's no signs of tearing or other parchment. So they remove the envelope, they remove the seal, and they remove the letter. 3 separate pieces. They throw away the envelope, and they reveal the letter before you.
And I'll stand shoulder to shoulder with Lady Baleford and see what kind of drama unfolds.
Torin, what sort of information is in that letter?
Well, it's a good thing you're standing side to side and not right behind her, because then she might really pick back that floating thread right back up.
It began in the summer of 1960.
In the summer of '69.
Yeah. No, just like I said before. It just says, but it's he admits to the infidelity, right? And then but places the blame on Antonia because of her
Slut shaming.
her deceitful
Wanton wiles.
her ways with magic and yeah,
Nice.
yes,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Plausible
So-
deniability.
You know, I tried to resist, but I couldn't help myself.
So you and Gertrude are reading this at the same time, and she's sort of chuckling. It's like, heard that one before. Heard that one before. But truly, this is his best work. So
I apologize for being the messenger of such heavy news, my lady.
there's nothing heavy about it. It's really, to be fair, it's a normal second Tuesday of the month sort of thing. So she snaps her fingers, and her crew gets back to work. They whip out a new envelope, and with steam and fresh wax and just the little kiss of a candle, like the craftsman's like perfect touch.
Wow.
It's as if the
It's like-
envelope had never been opened.
It's like in the Toy Story 2 when they have like the little specialist who like comes in and fixes the doll.
Yeah, exactly.
got,
It's like that.
Tables and tables.
It's like that. Like all the right tools
Yeah.
to make it appear as if it was the genuine article. No one could tell the difference.
And I'll tell her that I plan to use this to bring as a piece of evidence to bring Antonia under inquiry. I may require testimony in person from your husband as well.
Okay.
By the way, in the recap, I think we forgot to note the other item that was coming into play in a week's time. Isn't it the wedding? Did we discuss that?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
The wedding between Gozar and Jane is scheduled for
1 week.
approximately the same amount of time it would take the lava to get there.
Potentially.
Coinky dink, I'm sure.
I don't know if I'm just nervous. It's really hot in here.
So she understands you. She also wants to remind you that she doesn't have the power to compel him and to do any of this.
Yep.
But she's very grateful that you've included her in this process.
And that's what I was texting Matt about is, so part of what encouraged Felix to do this is that Torin told me that he slept with Antonia. Torin told Gozar to kill me. Gozar told Felix that Torin wanted me to kill me, thus revealing the untrustworthy nature of Torin. So now, when Felix came back from the Blight, and Torin's like offering me like positions and things like that, it's just he just doesn't trust Torin.
Fair. All right. Do you need to accomplish anything else immediately?
It's pretty good.
All right. We'll call that a scene. Beatrix.
Have my Reaver Scouts discovered the water supply source of the city?
Yes, so I believe what we left that off with was that the wall is an impressive feat of engineering, but at the point that it's closest to the river that passes through the valley of Fallcrest. There is some weakening of the soil under the water.
Oh yeah, no, I know. What I meant to say was, have I found the source of the entire city's fresh water supply?
So that is the river.
Is it the
Fallcrest.
river?
Yeah. So there's some underground springs that go from the river into wells within the city, but there's also a good amount of the city's water that comes from an aqueduct from the river.
Okay. Here's what I would like to do. So you tell me what I need to do to get this done. Based on the Felix Gozar expedition into the Blight, it's not just weavers. Like there's been differentiation among the horde, right? There are like the weavers, but there's also these giants. So there's so I think it would be safe to say that there's a breeder species. I want to take however many I need to of those, and I'm essentially going to sacrifice them and dump their eggs, breeding material, into the river and poison it.
Okay. So you've used one notch so
I have.
This is a big move, so this is going to be a second notch here.
Yep. Okay.
So
I need to
want
roll.
you to roll plus
Arcane. Yep. That is 10.
All right, so let's say under cover of night, with only the barest of escort in reefers. I want to say 20 Blight Dryads make an incursion across the border of the Blight. And they head to a point upriver from the aqueduct. And this is under the light of a bright pale moon, a night that is just unnaturally still. And at the banks of the river, they lumber up, and their feet sink into the ground. First, it's the ground giving way under their weight, but then their feet extend into the ground like roots, and they lift their arms and reach above their heads, and branches grow from every finger, and sticks come off the branches, and they lean forward over the river with the limbs arcing down, and sickly yellow-black fruit begins to grow on the branches. And it grows unnaturally fast, like within minutes, and then drops into the river with sickening plops, and it dissolves into the water almost immediately. But if you look closely, there are uncountable little pods floating along the top of the river. And by morning, those pods are traveling down, and a number of them are being diverted into the aqueduct, into the drinking water of Fallcrest.
Excellent.
So, we are marking
2 notches.
second notch on your end of season move. What is your intention with this?
I want to infest Fallcrest and I want it to eat itself alive. I want these pods to be drunk, and for the people who are unfortunate enough to drink it to be like consumed by the blight, like from within. And that they will become, if not Reavers themselves, then something more elemental, more primal, more bestial. And I want them to like become like ravenous and riotous and just start general disorder throughout the city.
Fucking bitchin'.
Yeah. That's my goal.
Alright. Gozar.
Gozar has a couple objectives. One, he wants to find some sort of alchemist lab or some sort of place where he can craft a few potions.
He had something of a facility back at his home.
Yeah, so
But I think now that your sort of contestation with Lord Torin's troops has died down, you can get back there.
Okay, so he's going to go there. I don't need to spend a whole huge scene there.
No.
I think before he no, I'll do that after. So he's going to go there. He's going to brew just a couple of poison potions, in his attempt to assassinate Lord Torin, knowing his affinity for alcohol. His hope is to make some sort of odorless, tasteless poison that he can slip into a bottle of wine or something of that nature. From there, 2 stops.
So, do you want to make this... Actually, no. I think I was going to ask if you want to make this now, and we'll roll to see if it's going to be an effective poison. I think the better way to do it, because you wouldn't
What
really
happens?
know
How would you test
if it's
it?
effective until the
Yeah.
time of. So, like, if you go to use it, we'll roll to see if it's an effective poison then.
Yeah. So I think my first visit, I have 2 visits I want to make.
Uh-huh.
One is Auntie Hilda, and then Felix kind of stole my thunder. I wanted to go see Gertrude myself,
Oh, really?
future mother-in-law,
I think that
and
would be
everything.
awesome to do it still. I think.
No, I'm still going
Do
to.
it when he's coming out and you guys
Yeah, right.
cross each
Well,
other.
I don't know he's still alive.
That would make
And I
it
don't
even
know-
more fun.
Yeah.
So I want to make those 2 visits. Also, a question: was Lord Torin planning? And you can obviously answer this. Were you planning another council at some point soon?
We left that up in the air.
Yeah, that was 2 sessions ago.
Yeah, I think at this point we're just retconning that out, unless you actually want to make that happen.
I
thought it was-
that should happen.
I thought it was depending on
Goes up.
something. I thought something was going to happen, and whether or
I
not
was just waiting for
something
people to get back, but I know that everyone's back now except for Beatrix. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So
It's probably
let's
straightforward.
address whether or not that happens when we get to Lord Torin.
Okay, because Gozar would want that.
Yeah.
Because Gozar is going to do something stupid in this game. This
Super.
particular day.
But he doesn't know if that's going to happen
True.
or not yet.
All right, so I guess I'll
Aren't you
start.
going to make 3 stops? You got to get measured for your tux, buddy.
Sure, I'll stop with the local.
Haberdashery.
Yeah, I'll start with Auntie Hilda. I want to kind of give her an update of what's going on, but also, with everything going on with the wedding and all that, his primary concern is still the blight.
So are you fully honest with everything that's happened?
Auntie Hilda, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she listens very intently, and she says, "Be very careful here. This is dangerous ground. Lord Torin is he is a fickle man,
Yes.
a dangerous man, and it seems he has bred a very similar daughter. So
Yes, that's my next step is actually to go talk to my future mother-in-law, and
also very dangerous. I can't I can't overemphasize the danger involved everywhere around here.
Well,
This family's fucking deadly.
To be fair, if the family doesn't kill me, then the blight probably will. So,
Oh yeah, this isn't ideal.
you know, so I guess one of the things I need you to do is, do you have contact with Nefaria still?
Nefaria is in the wind, dear. The destruction of our operations hit her hard, and she has not come in for the cold as much as I have tried to get her here.
Do we have any idea where I could find her? Because I need to prepare her for what's coming.
I wish I could tell you, sweetheart, but my daughter, she is a resilient, self-reliant woman who won't fucking tell me what her goddamn operations are at this particular juncture.
Yeah, she always was a bit of a stubborn ass.
Well, I'm sure she's just trying to protect our businesses in light of the unrelenting assault from these fucking fanatics.
Yeah, so, question for you, Auntie Hilda. Who do you think's the greater evil here? Lord Torin or his daughter / wife?
So, she hears you ask that. She's thoughtful for a moment. Then she stands up, walks across the room, puts her hands on your shoulders and says, Gozar, I hope it's you.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't sound like I should be, but...
Gozar, you are a strong heir to a mighty family line.
Well...
And no, you do not doubt yourself
No,
because your
no.
voice sounds a little silly.
No, not that. You know everything about our family line.
I am an astute historian of our genealogy, and I know that there are some dark chapters.
Yeah, so I am...
But greatness is written in blood, my dear.
So
and-
there are a few things I haven't told you yet.
Oh, do tell.
Do we know what the unspeakable power like I speak to? Do we have a name for her yet?
What do you call her? Or it?
I don't know if I'd actually have a name, because I would assume she's just there and just always listening. So I don't know if I'd ever have to say, like, oh, hey, so-and-so, I'm talking to you, or, I'm praying to you, so-and-so. I think he would just assume that she's just always there listening. And I'm not sure if she would say a name or not, but I don't know. I feel like he would just know it.
Then just say whatever it is you think it would be called. If anything.
Willie.
No.
Probably not Slick Willie.
No. I would say Evangelina. Lady Evangelina.
So, I think she's shocked for a moment, but then a sly smile spreads across her face. Gozar, Lady Evangelina is the guardian of our family. It's a secret that's been passed down for generations. The fact that you know who she is without me telling you is proof of the power of our bloodline and the destiny that we will fulfill.
Well, so you know of obviously Lady Evangelina and what some of her powers and whatnot, correct?
I don't know her directly. The fact
Well,
that
clearly.
you do, the fact I know her only from the writings in our family history.
So through the writings, you've heard some of the magic she can do and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently I have that because I speak to her quite regularly.
I suspected.
Did I not
For a
clean,
long...
Did I not clean up the hearts good enough downstairs?
There are costs to greatness,
Okay.
my boy.
Well-
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, I think it's time to show everyone exactly who I am.
I trust that it will be magnificent.
It's going to be, what's the right word here? It's going to be a large, large show when it happens. And hopefully I'll have the right platform to show it, but it's going to be enlightening for people to see exactly what I saw out in the Blight. And as dangerous as Lord Torin is and his family is, none of that's going to matter if we can't figure out what the hell to do with what's out there. So people need to know what's coming. And they're going to see what's coming.
Trust in the lady and she won't lead you wrong.
Thank you, Auntie Hilda. Time to go see my future mother-in-law now.
Good luck.
Thank
Watch
you.
out for that one.
Okay, I definitely will. And he bids adieu.
Alright. Let's jump to Lord Torin.
Okay.
So, Lord Torin, you receive a knock at your door from Captain... Who's the captain that's sort of filling in for General Angus?
Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders. Fuck you. No.
I love the time that it took to say it for you to like imagine the
Well, like,
glasses and the
I'm trying to
curly
give you
white
guys some
mustache.
authority into building the world here, but like I had to say no to that one. Try again.
Captain Slappy.
No, he just doesn't want the Spaceball reference.
Oh, okay.
Again.
The real question is, it's not what is his name, it's what do you call him, because you don't know, you can't be bothered to remember
right,
his
exactly. Colonel U.
Colonel U. Y-O-U?
Well,
Y-O-U.
EWE.
Yeah. Right.
Well, either way.
Why you?
Either way, it's you.
So, the gentleman that you always refer to as Colonel U enters your chamber. Lord Torin, we've had a disturbing report from scouts on the border of the northern mountains. We have sighted lava flows descending the mountains and heading in the direction of the city.
When will they get here?
We cannot be certain, but it is somewhere between 5 days and 2 weeks.
Well,
As time goes on, we will update you on their progress, but we simply have not seen lava flows like this before. We cannot accurately estimate their progress.
our walls are strong enough, aren't they?
Our walls have served our people for generations, and they are of arcane and ancient make.
Who else knows about this?
So far, just the northern border guards, their officers, and myself.
Sorry, writing notes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
Yes, Lord. And he salutes and leaves.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good. So I'd like to get my my little squire dude or whoever is at the door.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you!
So, man, that Yu dynasty, they are powerful and numerous.
No, not you. Yeah, you. I'd like you to call upon the great houses. We need to. I need to call a council meeting.
Okay. So, you send out the invitations for another council meeting.
No,
When?
Thorin sent them out. You was the one who actually dispatched them.
No.
So this one,
Yeah, last
when?
time.
When?
Immediately, like today.
Okay, so at sunset.
Sure, sunset. Let's do it.
Okay. So you send out a message to.
Not Antonia. It's going to Felix. Not Beatrix because she did. It'll go to Gozar and his mother, aunt. Yeah, his aunt, and the rest of the houses and the merchants, all those good people.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the messages go out, and you get confirmation from various parties that they will be in attendance. And there's nothing left to do but to prepare there.
Yeah. So this is, let's say, I just talked to Felix, right?
Well, I think that was like yesterday, but yeah.
Oh, so this is the morning again.
Yeah, we got to keep turning over
Right.
that old sun thing.
That old son. Does he see Gertrude again? I don't. So last time you talked to Gertrude, how'd that go again?
I think it was mostly uneventful.
Mm-hmm.
Just confirming the details of the wedding being in about a week.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna go to Gertrude.
Okay.
Gertrude's popular tonight.
Yeah, she is.
It's the
Yeah,
morning.
she
It's
is.
the morning. Right. So.
Lord Torin.
Dear wife,
With what can I help you, my dear?
we need to move up the wedding.
That would pose a significant challenge.
What kind of challenge?
What kind of challenge would it not pose? Invitations, caterers, the officiant, the man who's in charge of the doves. There are so
Trumpeteer.
many. Yes, the trumpeters. Thank you. It was one of her handmaidens.
Oh, okay.
Fire that bitch.
You, my stud.
Oh, you go get it.
Why did he air quotes when he said study?
Yeah. So, everyone out.
She pauses for a moment and then nods, and then her handmaidens scurry out.
Gertrude. I mean everyone.
And then two young ladies who are concealed behind curtains exit.
I just had a report that lava flows, of all things, are headed towards the city. And they'll be at our gates within days, if not weeks.
Oranges, reds, summer colors? No, that wouldn't go with the wedding at all.
Exactly. So we need to move it up.
I agree. That would be much more efficient than changing the palette.
And you probably haven't got my invitation yet, but we're having a council meeting.
Oh, yes, definitely. I've heard about that.
And what? I'd like you by my side as a sign of solidarity.
She strokes your cheek and then boops your nose. But of course.
Thank you, dear. I guess I'll I'll say anything new today, and I'll roll for little bird.
So with this,
Yes.
you want to know. You have to want to know something specific.
Yeah, I do. Well, everything I don't know.
That's a lot.
Okay.
You don't get to do one roll for everything you don't know.
Fuck. All right, so let's see.
Do we want to take a break?
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll take a break. You can consider what you want to do, and we'll all get more booze. Anywho, Torin, did you decide if you wanted to ask
So-
a specific question of Gertrude, or
So I want to put it up to a vote as far as Torin being the king or person in charge of this place, right?
vote? King, yes, very, very
No.
complimentary concept.
Out of character.
Okay.
Like, would he know that Felix went to go see Gertrude, being in the position he is in, with the people he has under him, telling him things?
So I would start by asking you, would Torin know that?
I would have a suspicion that Felix hung around the castle for a little bit before he left.
But would you know he went to talk to Gertrude? And if Gertrude didn't want you to know
Well, that's the
would you
thing.
know?
Like, does he know because he asked someone and they told him, or you know what I mean? Like, what portion of the staff is under Gertrude and what is, you know what I mean? Who's loyal to whom? And so that
I think what that comes down to entirely is how overt do you want to be?
yeah.
I think if you want to be super overt to the point where everybody knows what you're asking, you're going to get correct answers.
Right.
If you want to stay clandestine, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah. So I think
It seems like it plays against Torin's hand, anyways. Like Torin's like a little into himself, you know.
he is.
Just a scotch.
So I don't know. Like, would he notice that, or would he care? Like, why is?
Well,
this
that's
dude
why.
running
Like
around?
he would notice himself. Like he would just expect a, like, you know, an 11 a.m. report on, you know, Felix left the castle last night at 2 hours after your meeting, sort of thing.
Gotcha.
Like, well, where did he go?
Can I ask a potentially clarifying question?
Yeah.
Who would be loyal enough to Torin to bring that sort of information to him, given his treatment of his staff?
I was thinking the same thing.
That's true.
That's a very good question.
That's a good
Like,
point.
would they leave out details, maybe being more, you know?
Your most
towards
ardent
Gertrude?
follower was recently beheaded to cover your ass. So
Yeah.
Angus.
Yeah.
And you ruined your daughter's relationship from it too.
Whatever.
that was a bad roll, unfortunately.
That's fine. Okay. So I think I'll just I'll ask her. You know, anything? Have you heard anything?
Wait. I'm sorry. Could this be a call on your faction, essentially, to get the information? Would that make sense, essentially?
So we've got the custom move specifically for
Well,
Gertrude's
that's for
network.
Gertrude, but I mean, like beforehand, like call on your faction. When you call on your faction for help, support, or to advance your agenda.
So this is the family as a whole.
Yeah,
So
this is like-
if you want to lean on your staff, on your military command, on your many unnamed children who are bit players here,
I have many of those.
that would be a call on your faction. So
But no.
what do you want to know, and how do you want to find it?
I think that being as hungover as he is when he wakes up and he gets the report that nothing is happening,
Aside from lava.
aside from lava, like I think he would just go tell Gertrude and just ask her what else is going on, because he has no suspicion that Felix went there, and no one would tell him anyway. You know, I don't want to, you know, find a way to ask the question because I know he went there, so I'm not going to do that.
So let's just say you go there.
No,
you
I'm
report-
going to go there and say, hey, we should move up the wedding because I have reports of fucking lava headed towards the city, so what the fuck? And then, you know, the last time I talked to you, you had some info or anything new or anything? Wife?
I think based on that, her major update is going to be that invitations have not yet gone out, so we have time to intercept them and
Or we could just,
provide a new.
or we
date.
could just call it off.
No. We'll move it up. Does tomorrow evening sound good?
That sounds great.
I love
So,
It's like, we'll either like crank it up to 11 or just call it off. Like, either way, I love that.
so, yeah. So I'll see you. I'll see you tonight.
Indeed.
Very good.
I shall be by your side.
Okay.
That was cool.
All right. Yeah. She's got nothing else to report.
Okay.
You can obviously interrogate that answer if you want.
Which answer?
That she has nothing else to report.
I'd like to roll something.
Yes, there are moves for
There
this.
are moves for this. If I can find them. Study a person. We're going to study a person.
Okay.
And that involves some sort of sly business, of which I have +1.
Perfect.
Where the fuck did the dice go? Did I lose the dice?
Mm.
Oh, there's 1. There's 2. That is a 5, 8, 9.
All right. Mixed success. So, what is it? Mixed success.
And mixed
get you?
success and study a person. Blah, blah, blah. On a 7 and a 9, ask 2. What does your character really want? What is your character's current plan? What does your character wish I would do? What are you leaving out? And how can I get your character blah? How can I actually trust your character blah? So I'm going to say, what is your character's current plan?
Which one?
Gertrude is intending to get Jane married off, so that is situated and set, and she doesn't have to worry about that anymore. That's going to be whatever else comes, because there's obviously great turmoil on the horizon. That will be taken care of and set. And her duty will be done there, and she can worry about taking care of herself and her other children.
How many children does she have with Torin?
6.
A bunch.
I think I forgot that one. I thought there was just Jane in there.
I think Torin forgot that.
Not surprising.
How could I get your character
This is question 2 of 2.
this is 2 of 2. Or how about, what are you leaving out?
She is leaving out that she met with people you would not want her to meet with, discuss things that you would not want her to discuss, and that probably doesn't bode very well for you, but
So
She's not
so
saying
in
anything.
character, is this more of like an intuition thing, or do I
This is
notice
an
something
intui-
like in the room, or
so I'm gonna let you decide that. Is it intuition, or do you see something out of place that tells you something? Torin seems more of an intuitive character who's very certain of his gut.
So there is a
Sips drink.
so in her wastebasket is a torn envelope.
Mm-hmm.
Just a plain envelope that's torn.
No seal.
No seal.
No
nothing.
letter to go with it.
No.
So you think she had folks who read a letter that they shouldn't have read?
Then
You're certain of it.
Yeah. So I'll pick it out of the trash and interrogate. What's this?
She grabs it from you and turns it over in her hands and says, "This would be an envelope
I
that
know what a
contained
fucking
letter."
envelope is, dear. What's it doing?
Well, formerly it contained a letter, and now it does not.
Where's the letter?
I don't know.
What aren't you telling me?
Where is your shit from last night?
I can go get it for you. Why don't you get me the letter this contained?
Yes, I know. Demetrius the shit midget is very. He keeps very good track.
Shit, midget.
They have names?
He has a name now. He's graduated.
You don't know these things. You don't pay attention.
I don't know our fucking children's names!
Yeah, but you're closer to the shit midgets.
That's why I didn't let you choose Demetrius for our fourth son.
It all makes sense now. The letter woman!
It was a letter. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. There are so many letters that crossed my path.
How long have we been together? Please remind me, because I can't remember.
She tells you the exact number of days.
That's quite a long time. I apologize. You're lying to me.
Of course I'm lying to you.
So tell me the truth.
No.
Or I'm going to make it painful.
She cocks her head and, recoils back a little bit. Lord Torin, my dear husband.
This is your last chance.
This sounds like a roll.
Sure.
This sounds like a threaten with force.
Yes, it is.
Dun dun dun.
Nice.
He's turning it up.
It is very much turning up.
Here's the time
what's
for
her
a good
save versus
roll.
spousal abuse?
Okay.
Fail, 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 fail.
Get my ass beat. 6,
Ooh.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh!
Nice.
Success on spousal abuse.
So
She continues to, be Gertrude, and Torin's gonna. He's gonna pause for a sec and walk over to her table, right? Pour himself a glass of wine and chug it, and walk back over and grab her by the throat and tell her to fucking tell me what's going on.
So she looked completely passive and calm right up until her airway closed. And then her eyes bulge. And under your thumb, which is her trachea for reference, you hear her trying to speak.
Out with it.
So I assume you remove your thumb?
Yes.
Okay.
thumbs.
So, Executor Felix was here. He had a letter from you detailing your dalliances with Exarch Antonia.
What did you tell him?
We opened the letter clandestinely and then resealed it.
Why?
He has some plan about using the letter against Antonia. I saw no problem with this.
And why didn't you tell me?
Why did you need to know? You
That's
do
not an answer.
all manner of
I
things.
squeeze a little bit tighter.
Let me eat this cookie.
Dramatic cookie effect right there.
Dramatic cookie intrusion.
Hold on, cookie.
This is good when we're talking about like ratcheting shit up. Like we're there. We're definitely there. That's awesome.
Just go.
Hmm?
Sorry.
She chokes out, I thought you would kill me for knowing this! About all your this and all your other affairs!
Oh, you know my other affairs. I have nothing to hide from you.
Yes, but you didn't know that I knew that you knew that I know that you knew.
You're an idiot. What else have you planned? What else aren't you telling me?
To marry our daughter to that fucking brat Gozar.
What about him?
You've heard the stories. All the horrible things he gets up to. Jane just needs a noble family name attached to her that isn't
Who the
powerful.
fuck is normal in this city? Who the fuck is noble in this city? There's no one fucking noble. What she needs is power.
Yes, yes, and his family is the most powerful in this city short of ours. Maybe more powerful. The fact that they managed to deal with you and fend off the Star of the North at the same time. Secretly, they might be the strongest power in Fallcrest. Did you even fucking consider that, you idiot?
I did consider it, you fucking whore. He's gonna throw her onto the floor and storm out.
Don't you worry, Torin. Jane's gonna eat him alive.
I'm just gonna turn around and say, Jane can eat whatever the fuck she wants.
Anyone who's Jane?
Wait, what? That was fun. Next.
Yeah, that was good.
Take notes. So I'm assuming that my my Gertrude points went down.
Just a scotch.
Turns out she's into choking. So
Yeah,
you've got that going.
plus
Plus
2 now.
5.
You've uncovered her secret kink, autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah.
So I wrote a note here: is Gozar is creating iocane powder for Torin's alcohol.
Felix,
Yeah.
what do you do after you see Gertrude?
Go back to the Star of the North.
Okay.
Boy.
I know.
Sounds confrontational. I like it.
Playing with fire. I will go to. I need some snappy titles for. I need some help with snappy titles for.
Yeah.
Basically, what's the police unit for like internal affairs? I wonder what the Star of the North group would be for the same.
I think with your internal chapter, it's
It's like an order of something. The order.
I don't think it's even a full order. I think it's just one person and a few lackeys. I think yes. I was thinking the word inquisitor.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
The
Just some like
Inquisition.
leathery old. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. And if they're
Inquisitor
leathery and old-
Eisenhorn.
Have you listened to Iron Gold yet?
Yes.
So, the third voice narrator when he started talking. It's like, what the fuck? Did it switch to Eisenhorn again?
Is that Ephraim?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Yep.
then I got used to it, but it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, Ephraim's good though.
Yeah.
That narrator is very good.
Yep.
Anyway,
So,
total derailment there.
sorry. My bad. Anyway, Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Inquisitor Davos.
Okay. Mr. Seaworth. So, Inquisitor Davos, that's who I will bring the letter to. And that's who I will visit in the Star of the North first. Provided that nobody stops me on the way, or...
Would they?
It was up in the air. I don't know what kind of a tizzy I stirred Antonia up to when I stormed out, because she was like calling after me, because I didn't even tell her. She was pressing me for details about the blight, and I didn't tell her anything.
So do you think she would have set guards to intercept you?
Maybe. I think she would firm up her guards at her quarters, because Felix was acting kind of unstable when he was in there, and he was scaring her.
But she doesn't want to necessarily alert the whole order that something's amiss.
Right. I think that
Okay.
maybe she's thinking that he'll come to his senses and come back around, because he's always been kind of like a lapdog to her in the past.
Okay. Yeah, so she's got extra guards on her quarters with some specific orders related to you, but nothing preventing you from getting to the Inquisitor.
Okay.
So you find Inquisitor Davos in his study. He doesn't have a whole lot to do right now, because so much of the order is fully engaged in burning heretics and whatnot. It's like, what's there for him to do?
Yeah. I'll ask him about like what he thinks about like the recent events in Fallcrest it seems that the most recent council meeting with Lord Torin has set into motion this almost like a new age or a new era for the Star of the North, where we have taken action in Fallcrest in a more extreme manner than we ever have.
Executive Felix, I understand your misgivings, but Exarch Antonia has justified her actions in the writings of our order's founding texts. I see nothing untoward in what she's doing at present.
I'll explain about what I saw in our trip to the Blight. I'll talk to him about the Blight Dryad and how the witch Beatrix disappeared, and when we defeated the Blight Dryad, that the Blight receded.
That is grave and interesting news. What does Exarch Antonia make of it?
She's not yet heard of it. There was an exchange between me and the Exarch about the Exarch, but there was an exchange between me and Lord Torin about Exarch Antonia before I left for the Blight that I found unnerving.
You have come to doubt Exarch Antonia's intentions?
I'll hand him the letter.
He turns it over a couple of times in his hands, checks the seal, and this is from Lord Torin's own hand.
I'll nod to him.
He unseals it and reads it carefully, gets to the end, and then he flips right back to the beginning and reads it again. So this is, to be clear, this is a
And he's hard as a rock.
Oh, like he gets
he's got
play
robes
squire.
down.
He's got play squire hidden behind the.
He's sitting down, leaning forward just a little bit, so nothing is apparent from the outside.
I'll need a moment. Choir boy. I had to take it to a dark place. Sorry, guys.
Anyway, this is a grave charge from a high source. Executor, when information of this sort is brought to me, I always wish to ask of the person who has brought it what they intend for me to do with it.
The reason it was intentional that I told you about the blight before telling you this, and it was because of Exarch Antonia's actions that seemed to run counter to the interests of the future of this chapter of our order, that I bring this information to you.
Okay, so I think here a move is appropriate.
Yeah. Yep.
So, what are you trying to do, and how are you trying to do it?
I'm trying to encourage him to take the information seriously and
I mean more specifically than that. What do you want him to do with the information? Do you want him to depose Antonia? To decry her? What?
yeah, like I think to begin a formal inquiry to remove her from.
So you
the
want her
position of Exarch.
removed from power?
Yep.
I suppose it's a good point to ask here. Does Felix intend to take up the mantle of that power if he
Yep.
can? Okay.
Yeah, and because I think that he's become hell bent on and in creating a defense against the blight closing in.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to raise enough forces to fight off.
Okay. I think this is a persuade with leverage.
Okay.
I think your leverage here is the evidence from Lord Torin, but with your additional information relating to the blight and the direness of that situation, take +1 on this roll.
Yeah, and I can burn an
So-
honor point if you feel like that'd be.
Honestly, yeah, I think that'd be a good use of an honor
The
point.
way my letter reads. Okay. It says, I woke up. I knew I was alone before I opened my eyes, not because of the silence or the chill, but because of the ache in my chest that remained in her absence. Although it wasn't typical for her to leave our bed without waking me, this welcome to the day did not surprise me. Last night she was not so distant. She had turned from me and laid there without our nightly ritual of making love.
Is this 50 Shades of Grey?
It's just a random paragraph on the internet. But that's how my letter reads.
That's sad. It's sad. It's like
Oh, mournful.
not genuine, I imagine, but still
Dun, dun, dun.
So, persuade with leverage is that Wiley again? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or was that?
Wiley, yes. Reference sheet. Hey. And so +2 if you're burning a point of honor.
So, 3 + 3, so that'd be a 10.
That'd be a 10. Okay. Big shit.
Uh-huh.
Real shit. Okay, so Inquisitor Davos thinks on all you've told him for a moment and says, I believe that based on the evidence you've presented and the additional information that you've provided, that Exarch Antonia's actions put this chapter of the Star of the North and the very tenets upon which our order is founded at risk. We are required in these circumstances to remove her from power in the most expedient manner possible and restore a rational and faithful rule to this chapter and to the city whom we serve. In the past, we know that such actions can lead down a path of indecision and argument that can leave us incapable of action for great periods of time. And at an hour such as this, when the very lives of every person in this city are at stake, I do not believe we can allow that. We must take bold and terrible action.
Hearing your wise judgment reaffirms like my instinct in bringing this to you. For the time being, we do need to take immediate action, and in the long term, if there is a long term, I of course would honor our practices in choosing a new exarch.
He nods. Give me a moment to assemble our guard, and we shall move immediately.
Nice.
So he gathers together a small group that answers only to him,
Mm-hmm.
and you move towards the Exarch's quarters.
Yeah, I'd like to go with them.
I assume so. They're assuming you're coming with.
Yeah, right.
They ain't doing this by themselves. This is going to get ugly.
Nice.
So you arrive there, and there is...
I want to take the letter, too, to show to Antonia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you arrive there, and there is a much larger than normal guard contingent in front of Antonia's quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And they recognize you immediately because they were on the lookout for you.
Mm-hmm.
What they were not expecting was Inquisitor Davos and all of his men. To outnumber them, but not by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the sergeant in charge of the guards stops you and says, Executive Felix, I have orders to take you into custody if you attempt to enter the Exarch's quarters. What are your intentions here?
At some point, I was thinking about using Call on Your Faction,
Mm-hmm.
and what I wanted to do
Okay.
is showing them the letter and explaining to them that I have brought these concerns to Inquisitor Davos because my faith in Antonia has been shaken.
So is this like you going like into the barracks, like you're taking like a little detour to try and like, you know,
No, this
rile
is
up
the
a
guards.
posse?
This is
Oh,
to the
okay.
guards. This is to the guards.
yeah.
who
He's gonna use his reputation here
gotcha.
to convince the guards that his cause is righteous. So you can
Yep.
spend 0 to 3 honor on this.
I'll spend 2. I'll burn 2.
Okay.
ripping through that on him, saving it up until now.
Hey, now's the
Now is
time.
the fucking time.
Yeah. All right. So and then that gives a +2. So thanks, man.
Yep.
And then what stat does that go?
No, it's plus honor spent.
8, 9,
Okay.
9.
So 9. Let's see.
Should have burned 3.
Still can if you want.
Is it possible to
Sure.
burn another one? To spend another one on that to make it a full success instead of a partial? success?
You needed to have decided to do that beforehand.
Okay.
That makes sense.
It's not roll and then
Yeah, yeah.
decide how much
Yeah.
you
Right.
want to
Yeah.
spend.
Right. To make it a pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. Activate 1 benefit. MC holds 1.
So I'm trying to decide what this would be here. Because this is a big move, so it's gonna be big.
Yeah.
So you give him, you want to show him the letter and convince him that your cause in removing Antonia is legitimate.
I want to show that to all of the men, and not just the captain of the guard. I want to show that to all of them, to show them that, and because he's not only the authority, but I'm considering them all as like brothers in arms,
Mhm.
and that we have to stand up against her because she's not who she says she is,
Mm-hmm.
as affirmed by Lord Torin.
All right, so I think all the men gather around and sort of read along. Some of them move their mouths a little more as they read it than others, but
Ones that breathe through their mouths a lot.
yeah, they get through it, and
What do they need a swing for?
this sounds really violent. So eventually they get through it, and like the sergeant seems disgusted, and his men sort of share the same sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at you, he looks at Inquisitor Davos and his men, and then he looks over his shoulder at the door to the Exarch's quarters, and he looks defeated. And he turns to his men and says, "Men, we've got new orders. We're to report to the barracks for R&R and go out on the town for the night."
I'll say, I'll again try to give him like a pep talk, like brothers don't lose faith. This strikes deep at the heart of our order, but we are not broken. She is broken.
He squints his eyes at you. "She is the heart of our order.
Oh, kind of like
Good luck." And then he leaves and he brings his men with him.
Okay. I'll just kind of like level an eye at Davos about that, and then I'll knock.
And he nods knowingly. "This is the danger of moral degradation in our leadership."
It'll be fun to see what happens in the days that come. So I'll knock ever so gently on Exarch Antonia's door, and I'll step back so the first face she sees is Inquisitor Davos.
Okay. So you knock and there's no answer for a little while. You knock again, and eventually there's some, angry sounds from inside before she comes over and throws open the door, and she sees Davos first, where she's confused, and then she sees you glowering behind him, and there's there's this tinge of fear. But she gathers herself quickly. "Inquisitor, Executor, what can I help you with?"
I'll wait to see if the Inquisitor speaks first. If not, I'll step in.
So he takes a moment and says, Exarch, there has been evidence laid against you that is very concerning.
Might we speak alone in your quarters? We, like the three of us.
She leans out looking for the guards that were supposed to be out there and says, it seems we are already alone.
And I'll kind of like whisper in a knowing voice, like they know.
Know what, Executor? Say it plainly, so as not to waste our time.
I'll walk in to her quarters and kind of like look, waiting for.
Oh, do come in!
And I'll go back to her busted up writing desk, my soon-to-be busted up writing desk, and
So confident.
we'll see, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll put Lord Torin's letter down.
Thunk.
What's this? Don't waste my time with theatrics, Executor. You obviously haven't wasted my time with explaining the results of your expedition.
If you only read this, we can then decide what to do from here.
Give me the Cliff Notes. Sorry, no. Give me. Summarize it for me, please. We are all very busy.
I'll look at Davos and then back at her, and just explain that that she was in a seat of power, and that you're a homewrecker. That she used her she used her position. She used her position, and like basically the same thing that I said when I left before. Like she's like soiled the seat of honor. That she's drugged the Star of the Order through the mud, and like she has lessened like our name and our influence and our prestige in the city, because she's out like kind of like whoring around pretty much with
So while you're saying this, she is staring Daxos down.
Davos?
Davos. Yeah.
Okay.
Davos.
I think Lord
Daxos
Torin
is
refers to him
Well,
as you.
that's actually what I was originally thinking, because that
Right,
was a
yeah.
Telemanus from
Yeah.
the
Daxos.
Yeah, but whatever.
fine.
It's Davos now. Anyway, she's staring Davos down, and she's...
Could his name be Daxos Davos?
That'd be really weird.
My parents were very mean people.
They hated me. And they expressed that by naming me.
Double D.
So, she's staring Davos down the whole time while you're leveling these charges against her. And she says... She pauses for a moment when you're done before saying, Inquisitor Davos? Everything he says is correct with regards to the factual events that occurred. The Executor has impugned meaning behind things that is not warranted. The situation in Fallcrest is dire. The Lord of this city is not in control of his people. Hey, well, hold on. She's making her
What?
case here.
What?
He's not in control of his people. He is not in control of his family, and he is not in control of himself.
Is this how you seek to gain his control? Through your means?
I seek to use every tool at my disposal for the betterment of this community and overcoming the challenges of the leadership that they have been so unfortunate as to inherit. Sorry, Torin.
I'll just shake my head at her.
Not what he said.
This situation is challenging and unprecedented within our order, so I must take challenging and unprecedented action. I do not deny anything that any facts that you have leveled against me. I deny only that these facts disqualify me from my position. That these facts are some indictment of my abilities as your leader.
I'll just look to Davos because I think when I guess I'll just look to Davos to see how he is taking this, because like he has his dudes here, outside of her quarters. So I'm basically waiting to see. I'm looking to see if he's swayed by her.
He looks a little bit shaken. Like he sees he knows, he understands the evidence that you've laid before him. And based on precedent and law, it would disqualify her. It would be reason to arrest her and launch.
I think this is, and that's part of the problem is like.
But she makes a convincing argument.
Yeah, and I'll tell Davos that her justification in betraying the tenets of our order allow her to rewrite the tenets of our order. That is dangerous. That's dangerous. That brings about a new era for our order where we cast aside that which unifies us and defines us and identifies us. So again, I stand firm in the original reason that I brought this to you as evidence of her as an unfit exarch.
So that stiffens his spine. And he says, the executor is correct. Your arguments, though convincing with the unique situation laid in front of us, the laws of our order are clear. We do not deviate from the teachings of the Morning Star. Ever. We do not interpret the teachings of the Morning Star, ever. We merely follow them for the betterment of mankind. You will submit to inquiry. You will surrender your position until such time as the inquiry is complete. And you will offer no resistance. Is that clear, Exarch Antonia? And, actually, what does somebody think she's going to do in response to this?
I don't think she would just sit there and take it lightly.
I think she's got some sort of backup plan.
Yeah,
I think she's
I
got
would-
either an escape route or some sort of...
So from Torin's perspective,
Ooh.
if he was a fly on the wall, like he knows that what they had was real,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So makes me feel bad.
And they actually connected,
Mm-hmm.
and want and the feeling of getting together when they could was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And for her to throw that away and to say it was for nothing, like deep down would tear her apart.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so just put that into your...
Okay.
You're such a romantic. I didn't know you had it in you, Lord Torin. Showing me a new side.
That
of
was
you.
out of character, okay?
Now, wasn't out of character. If you remember back to section 1,
Yeah.
like, she was his one true love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, bumbling asshole facade aside,
Right.
she was his one true
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
So, he would know her better than anybody.
Yeah.
And so, the fact that she like threw him in the gutter as an excuse here, and that didn't work. Yeah, she's not going to take this well. Her eyes, guess the best word is flare with bright yellow light. And she screams with a voice that seems far too loud to come from anything less than 100 mouths at once. You will not deny me my position. Worm, you will scurry back where you came from and leave me to my good works. And, like, the Davos and his men are buffeted back as if her words are, like, slapping against them with serious force. What do you do?
Judgment's coming out.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will attempt to rally them. And I said, brothers, I fear this is worse than we thought. She's evil and she needs to be stopped. And I'll level judgment to her.
Can we cue the mini boss music? Or?
Yep. Alright, so are you going to be leading the troops, or are you going to be going into battle yourself here?
Probably leading the troops.
Okay.
Just because if her eyes are just so. I guess, do her eyes seem like a blight dryad, or is it like some kind of like celestial like empowerment or something like that?
So it's known that Exarch Antonia wields magical power,
Okay.
and that's thought to come from the Morning Star himself.
Okay.
Most exarchs of an order have that ability.
Okay.
Some do not, but many do.
Okay.
Having that ability is sort of what propels one through the ranks.
Gotcha. So she's Super Saiyan because she's an Exarch.
Yeah, not full hair boner and all that,
Okay.
but
Like, it's gonna be like fucking 4 sessions of her just going.
and then 2 sessions of her and then 3 sessions of no one can survive that much dust.
So maybe on kind of that theme, we should pause and jump over to Gozar.
I want to finish this one off.
I mean, I do too. I just meant for dramatic effect, but
No. I think we can resolve this in one roll.
Ooh.
All right.
Dice right there.
But is Felix leading the troops, or is he striking the blow himself?
Well, so that's what I want to get clarification about. I thought that she was like, I thought that another layer was getting peeled back where she was like being evil and things like that. But if she's just exercising her like power as Exarch and that's natural, I think that Felix would charge in himself, knowing that if the tides turned, he would probably look at those guys for help.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Threaten with force, or what is that? Or
you're going to engage in combat.
engage in combat. Is it fierce?
Yep, roll plus fierce.
It's time for the snake eyes.
You beat him to
10 plus 2, 12.
Wow.
Okay.
We're having some fun.
So, do you have a quick reference to the rules?
What page is? Oh, yeah.
What's
So
one?
here.
Right here. Engage in combat. When you attack someone with the intent to do harm, roll plus fierce. Blah, blah, blah. You attack with vigor, you inflict plus 1 harm. You parry their blows, you take minus 1 harm. You battle aggressively, you inflict plus 2, but take an additional plus 1 on yourself. You fight defensively, you inflict minus 1, but take an additional minus 2 harm to yourself. Additionally, on a 10 plus, pick one of the following. You stymie your opponent. They must change their behavior somehow. You are impressive or dominant in the attention or respect of those present. You achieve a goal. You may change the situation. Grab something from your opponent, push them somewhere, block their entrance or exit, etc.
So I will fight defensively and achieve a goal.
Okay. What's the goal you're trying to achieve?
Make her submit. If that's not too.
Okay, so to take away her ability to fight back. Okay. So as she displays this power in front of you, you bring out judgment and you go on the attack, yeah?
Yep.
All right. So she thrusts her hands out in front of her in your direction, and you're hit with a searing light. Like, it feels like your skin is being burned, and you push through it and bring your hammer down, and you feel it crunch under you, and you block a lot of this with the hammer itself, leading with it. And that knocks her back. And when you connect, the light fades, and you see her smash into a bookshelf and fall to her feet. And the bookshelf collapses on top of her. You stand above her, and you have a moment to act. What do you do with that moment?
I'll look to them. Her getting pinned by the bookshelf, did it look like she died, or was it hard to tell?
It looks like she's not happy, but it doesn't look like she's dead. She's not like smashed to bits or anything.
Okay, then I'll look to the rest of the men, and I'll say, like, now's our time, seize her. And I'll basically hold judgment ready to strike while they detain her.
Okay. So you're going to give them an opening to restrain her, and you'll attack her if she doesn't submit to that.
Right.
Lord Torin, you know her better than anyone else. Would she submit to that?
I think in this situation, probably.
You think she would?
Yeah.
Okay. She stares daggers at you, but she doesn't offer any resistance as the Inquisitor's men restrain her, tie her behind her hands behind her back, put a blindfold over her eyes, force a gag into her mouth, put manacles on her hands, on her feet, and lead her away in chains to throw her in a lightless oubliette.
Starting to feel a little heavy weight of consequence right there. Felix.
Yeah.
Not feeling so great about it. Gotta do what you gotta do for the better
right.
good and all that.
Yeah.
That's right.
This episode has not been great to women. It's just,
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
we
Well.
got good roles for domestic abuse, slut shaming.
Slut shaming.
Yeah. Yeah. Kinda.
It's fine.
Turns out high fantasy isn't super PC.
Egalitarian, yeah.
She
Yeah.
was using her using her position
there's
for
always
political gain.
There's always Beatrix, though.
That's so empowering.
Yeah.
She's not dead yet.
No.
Or
So speaking of Beatrix,
Yeah.
what's Beatrix doing?
So, do I have, because of my psychic connection to the blight, do I have a sense of how the my little spore pods, have gone into the city? Like, do I feel like a growing connection between those who've kind of been infected by it?
I think there's a blooming awareness.
Mhm.
Like, light suddenly shined on that part of the map, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot to work with right now, but it has a lot of potential. And it's really hard to glean any specific information from this, you know, because it's hundreds, thousands of people,
Yeah.
and you're only getting the smallest glimpses. But one thing stands out, and that's this whisper that a council has been called for tonight.
I want to send a message.
Okay.
So what I want to do
Mm-hmm.
is I want to use one of I want to kind of feed into that blooming awareness among those who have been infected. Just to begin just a chant, like when the city bells ring to announce like that there's a council coming, or like, you know, so I just want there to be almost like a counter chant, like that just pops up throughout the city. It doesn't have to be, you know, organized. It doesn't have to be focused. It doesn't have to be dedicated. I just want everyone who has been now touched by these pods to just start chanting Beatrix, Beatrix, Beatrix. And, you know, if these people are kind of accosted by the city guard or whomever, they don't understand it, they don't know anything about it, but that's all.
So, when Beatrix first arrived, she's part of this order, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, has she made a complete 180-degree turn from her original mission? Do we know that
It's
yet?
the same mission. She wants to introduce all the people to the blessings that she has experienced.
Right.
One way or another.
And it's to promote unity and a sense of kind of the ecstasy of communion.
Yes. Well, I understand that. I understand. Like, that's what her purpose was when she first came into the city, right? Let's set up this church, this place of, right? And then that did not work out.
No.
So, like, is she doing that through the blight now? Like, was that her original intent?
It wasn't her original intent.
Right.
No,
I think
she's getting the same. She's getting the high off the blight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
that she would have from her original purpose.
Yeah. So one of the things that kind of I fed into with her character is I've kind of leaned into the failures that she's had, and what it's done is, because of the fact that like kind of her backstory is that like she was like, you know, parents were killed, and like she was kind of like introduced into the order like as an orphaned infant. So like she's known nothing else. So like this was kind of like it was her calling to go to Fallcrest, to go through the blight, to like, you know, introduce the teachings of the order. And so because of that, she's had such a poor like first/only experience with like what the kind of the cynicism of society, that it's kind of like jolted her to the complete opposite way. So she sees like the individualism, and she sees the cynicism, and she sees the stubbornness of
The blight is taking its place because it's easier.
well, it's that she sees it as having all of the values that she was brought up to exalt. The communitarianism, the sense of singular purpose, the sense of collective will
Sure.
that she was taught in the order, but because of the fact that her viewpoint, her history is so narrow,
Yeah.
it's almost completely twisted itself into like the blight becoming a vehicle for what she wants,
Right.
or what she has kind of been brought up to believe
Sweet.
is right.
No, that's good. I like it. It's great.
Or at least that's how she justifies it to
Ex-
her.
exactly.
herself.
Oh, yeah, well,
She's been given all this sudden
Right.
power.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
yeah, it is. It's a 180, but it's like because of the like, it's almost like bouncing off of a wall and
Right.
flying backwards. So it's
No, it's great.
trying to make good use of those all those fails.
All right, so it's 11 right now. I'm good to stay up till whenever.
I'm alright. I can go for a little longer.
I know Gozar wanted to meet.
Yeah, so let me just resolve this. Like, so what do I need to do to like start some chants here? Just
If
to.
all you want is to start a chant,
I mean, do you want me
you're
to like?
going to start a chant.
Okay. So yeah. If I don't have a good sense of like, you know, where my new followers are, I mean my
Yeah, I don't think you can
do that yet.
perceive them individually,
Okay.
but you know.
Oh, wait. Okay. No. It's. Can I? I would like them to. Can I kind of drive them in like the direction of like the food silos? Like just have them congregate around all like the grain silos of the city? Or is that like not public knowledge?
That's maybe not public knowledge. I think. So if you want to do that, you're gonna have to roll something, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that'd be like harness the unspeakable power, like draw them toward.
Sources of food.
Yeah.
Just as sort of an intimidation thing?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah.
Control via spore.
I think if you want to do it to send a message, I don't think a roll is necessary. I think the message is going to get sent.
Okay. That's what I'm tending to do right now.
Okay.
Flexing my muscles.
Then when the time comes, that will happen.
Okay.
All right, Gozar.
So, question with Auntie Hilda, since she obviously knows the unspeakable power, or whatever. Does Gozar know? Would she have told Gozar what, like if and what her powers were?
You tell me.
I've never taken more fastidious notes in a game than this one.
I would
Oh yeah.
I would think so, based on the revelation that he
Yeah.
gave.
Part of the.
That's
part
kind
of
of
being
like a
crown.
kinship, because
Gotta keep track of
know
everything.
Jesus.
he's never heard anything of Nefari having any powers like that, or just business savvy.
Yeah.
But
That's really more
I would
her talent.
I would assume that Hilda would tell him, maybe not everything, but at least that she has some sort of magical powers and things like that.
That Hilda has?
Yeah.
I think Hilda confides to you that, she felt a connection to the lady who's sort of the patron of your house,
Yeah.
but she was never able to manifest any abilities. So she was very proud when she learned sort of indirectly that you were able to do
Yeah.
things.
Okay. So I would like to go visit the mother-in-law. First,
Gertrude, our lady of the night.
Ivar.
This is after she got choked.
Yes.
So Ivar. Well, I have a different approach here. Where's good old Ivar? Is he still hovering around me?
He's wherever you wanted him to be.
I'm gonna summon Ivar.
Okay.
Whether I go find him or not, I have
Yep.
a task for Ivar.
Yep.
Ivar, could you do me a small favor? My bride to be. Do you happen to know where she is at the moment?
I'm afraid I don't know the particulars of the keep, but she's supposed to be in there.
Could you go find out for me?
To what end, sir? I just want to make sure I'm not
I
wasting.
need you to keep her distracted for me. But I need to know she's in there.
So you want to make sure that she's occupied within the keep, and
Within
doesn't
her
leave.
within her room, potentially, if that's where she is, yes. Just for 10, 15 minutes, shouldn't be more than that.
I can arrange that if I know which 10 or 15 minutes you intend, sir.
Count to, let's say 5 minutes from now.
I can do that.
Okay. So he's gonna wait 5 minutes. So he's gonna take his time, strolling. He's gonna duck in a closet, make sure nobody's looking. He's gonna turn into Jane.
Okay.
And I
use your hold. That's it. That's expended now.
yeah.
See, Gertrude is Jane. This should be interesting.
Yes, yes. He's doing some stuff to self-preservation. Alright, and I need to roll here because I did not sleep with Jane, so
So you gotta actually do the move.
I
Yeah.
have to do the move.
That is the fairest of them all. So it is a arcane.
That probably would have been a good
Oh, that's a 7.
Oh,
Okay. No, that's a mixed success. So
Jane, why do you smell?
So well, here's
What's wrong with your
so
voice, Jane?
the voice isn't. You
Sounds
get to
like a
choose
man.
one.
yeah.
The voice isn't right, the smell isn't right, the walk isn't right, your perspective is off, you move as if you're still in your normal body instead of the one you're imitating.
So I think the obvious choice here is the voice isn't right.
Fuck. Is it going to be my voice though, or is it just going to be like she'll be able to tell it's not
So
hers?
it's going to be James' voice, but something's not right about it.
Hopefully it's not my
How you choose to interpret that in your role play is up to you.
All right. Oh fuck! It's not how I was hoping that was going to go. There's no honor move I could do on that one, right? No, probably not. All right, he's going to knock on the door.
Gertrude answers.
Mother.
Jane! So unusual of you to call upon me on this hour. Please come in.
Thank you. I'm a bit concerned.
About what, my dear?
The marriage to young Gozar.
In what way are you concerned?
I don't believe he's a good fit.
I share your concerns, but no suitable candidate of superior stock has presented himself, so really, what are other options?
I could just hold out until something better comes along.
Yes, we'll just wait for another noble house to stroll through the blight and bring their millions of gold pieces into Fallcrest. Dear, you need to let go of these childish fantasies and work with the reality that we are given.
I don't trust him. I've seen him with father.
Oh, well, I think not trusting him would be wise. I think not trusting him would be the entirely reasonable course of action for any young wife.
So,
True love, or fairy tales, or whatever.
well, let's be honest, yours and father's relationship is, from what I've seen and heard, not all, great.
My dear, perfection is for fairy tales. Even the most noble houses do not have happily ever afters.
Can I ask you something, Mother? If you had your choice of someone other than Father, would you have done it?
What do you mean another choice? Do you mean...
If you could have chosen, would you have chosen Father, or would you have chosen someone else?
Oh, my dear, you must understand. Your father is the scion of a noble house of storied history. And his is a line that inherits greatness. And he's a fucking piece of shit. So, no, I would not have chosen him over, you know, a warm puddle of diarrhea, but I was not given the option.
How would you rank Master Gozar compared to Father?
Comfortably chilled diarrhea.
So you would not choose, but yet you're making me...
None of us choose, my dear. Face the reality. None of us are free. You might imagine that our wealth and our power affords us freedom. Such a thing does not exist. We work within the confines of our existence.
Okay. I'm going to study a person here.
Okay.
Because Gozar hasn't done this super often. Like, obviously he doesn't know that he did a mixed success, of course, but he hasn't done this. He's still kind of new with it, so he wants to read her just to kind of see what her...
Do it up.
Yeah, so what is a... What stat is that?
It's whatever stat the reference sheets.
Study a person, it's sly, isn't it?
It is sly.
Yes.
I don't remember these things. I have the papers to tell me.
I only remember information if it's completely inapplicable to anything, like, you know, useful.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
7.
no.
Well, I have a +1, so 7.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a 2, right? 2 questions. Did I get to ask on that?
Yes. 2 questions.
Let's see. Can I actually trust your character to believe it's her daughter?
I think you haven't given her reason to doubt you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like she thinks something's off, but it's not enough for her to attribute it to anything other than nerves about getting married to somebody that she doesn't really like,
Okay.
which is completely in line with the discussion you just had. So,
What does your character wish I would do?
shut up, get married,
Have kids.
and have kids. Yeah, really, just shut up, get married, have kids. Like that's the goal here.
Okay.
That's the end game.
All right. So, I guess I will leave you, Mother, with one last question. Is if I'm to be married to Master Gozar, I suppose I can't try and kill him, can I? Just saying.
She sort of narrows her eyes at you, and
I've heard things of their family.
well, you should be concerned. I mean, they are a dangerous lot in the past and in the present. So, I wouldn't go saying things like that liberally.
Okay. Just trying
mean-
to watch out for my well-being and our family's well-being.
Obviously, that takes precedence. If you are concerned and you have the option and you're not going to be caught, do whatever it is you think is appropriate. You are... Well, if I'm being honest, my most intelligent child.
Of course. Doubt
You
that.
you are the most like me. I'm sorry to say.
I'm flattered.
Yeah. Well, not like your father.
Even more flattered. Father has Father has angered me a bit with Angus.
Ah, yes, General Angus. You were fond of him, weren't you?
I was, yes. That would have been my choice if I had had one.
Really?
Yes.
He was so old.
Like a fine wine.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of you as having that sort of taste.
I can be a bit different from your mother, right?
Certainly. But, you can be different from me, but then I would look to your father, and your father certainly doesn't prefer them older.
Not from what I've heard.
Well, to each their own, I suppose. Anyway, I suppose it's irrelevant and a sore subject, so...
I bid you adieu, Mother. I thank you for calming my nerves a bit.
Certainly. Do take care, dear. The date of the wedding looks to be moving up, so just be prepared for that.
Oh dear. Okay. Thank you, Mother. And he's gonna get out the door quick because he's starting to feel a little antsy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he talked too much. He's gonna kind of scoot back over towards Ivar and just kind of say, all right, coast is clear. You're good to go. His next trip, he wants to talk to the good Lord himself before the council meeting.
Oh, that's me.
Yes, before the council meeting.
All right.
He has plans. It's gonna get him in trouble, but he's got plans.
Okay.
So he's gonna knock on Lord Torin's.
So let's knock that out real quick, and I think that's probably going to be a good stopping point tonight, because we want to do it tonight rather than tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
And tomorrow morning's rapidly approaching.
So he knocks on Lord Torin's door.
Answer.
Lord Torin, it's your future son-in-law. Sorry, wrong voice. It's your future son-in-law.
I could have sworn that was my daughter.
Yeah, right. That'd be weird.
Ooh.
Come in.
Are you okay, sir? You seem a little drunk still.
What time is it?
It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm. What do you want?
So when we chatted last about the blight and everything.
Yeah, the blight. Yeah.
Yes, I heard you've I was told there's going to be a meeting tonight of some sort, or a round table, whatever
Yes,
it is.
you're in a council meeting.
Yes, council meeting.
You're invited.
Yes, that's why I'm bringing it up.
So what do you want?
What exactly is this council meeting about? If you don't mind me asking.
What?
Council meeting.
Oh, yes.
What's
it's about the blight.
Hmm.
Did you want one?
No, thank you.
Sure.
Yes, I'll save it for when I really need it.
Once you're king, you're gonna wanna.
Yes. Blight, what's your plan? Do you have one?
That's the purpose of the council meeting.
You're king, right? You're the one that should have the plan and tell them what to do, right?
So, as we speak, lava flows are descending upon us from the mountains.
Okay.
And will be here at our walls within days, if not weeks.
Do you think anyone cares? Or do you think people are just going to believe in the castle walls like they always have?
We'll find out, won't we? But we need to plan and do something about it.
Speaking of that,
Of
I
what?
have an idea.
For?
Inspiring people to realize the problem we're going to have with the blight.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that toe I showed you?
No.
He pulls out the toe.
It's disgusting.
Big gross. Remember I told you where that came
Put
from?
it away.
Do you remember where I told you that came from?
Yeah.
How do you think people would react if they saw a real live one of those?
I would imagine they would run for their lives.
If the king didn't tell them it was a demonstration of what was coming.
Huh?
Do you want to inspire your people to actually stay and fight and take you seriously, or do you want them to look at you as a drunk king who can't lead them?
He takes a drink.
Oh.
No offense, future father-in-law, but you are slightly drunk right now, and
Did Gozar just fucking... What the fuck? he's just sitting there with his
Absurd.
glass, just like trying to absorb what you just said. Did you just...
Did you just grow a sack?
Holy shit, right in front of me. What?
turning his brother's arms to nothing really inspired some oomph with him.
What do you propose?
I propose to turn into that giant creature after you tell everyone what we're up against. You have a demonstration to show people what we're up against, that people need not panic, that no guard should come and shoot me or try and capture me or anything, but to illustrate to everybody what is actually out there, and for everyone to get off their high horses with this political bullshit and worry about the real problem that's coming.
I agree that is the real problem.
Because if everyone's taking each other out from the inside, there's nobody to fight the outside.
You do have a point. I'm glad you're my son.
Yes. In about a week's time, I will be, yes.
Oh, a little bit less than that, actually.
Pardon me?
Oh, have you didn't hear?
No.
So the wedding's being moved up.
How soon?
You should probably talk to my wife. I don't really know. Days, maybe?
I'll have to... Gertrude, right? Or should I call her Lady? I'm sorry, I just call you Lord Torin. I don't know your last name. Bale? Bale Wynn, Bale Shore.
Belafonte.
Belfort.
Baleford, that's right.
Yes.
Should I call her Lady Baleford?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good.
Good.
So,
Definitely not you sexy thing, you.
But if you wanted to.
Just the two of you.
he gives Torin a kind of a strange look and walks backwards like,
I mean, I have no problem.
pull yourself together, Lord Torin. You have an important meeting coming up.
That's like 6 hours from now.
That's going to go by real quickly when you're drinking.
So I'll introduce
Oh,
the
Jesus.
um
Can you stop drinking in like an hour and give yourself time to sober up?
don't worry about me.
The kingdom needs to see a sober, strong king.
That's why I'm marrying you to my daughter.
Well, so I can be the strong king?
Either one of you.
He shakes his head.
So you want to do your thing and
Yes.
become this creature
Yes, and then turn back to myself.
to show them what.
To show them what the hell's coming. I realize that's going to out me as a magical user, but at this point, if we don't do anything, we're all going to die anyway.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen anyway.
Potentially,
At this
but
point.
I'm looking for some protections, so to speak.
So you want me to?
I would like to find some way that after this is over, I don't get thrown in jail for being a magical user.
Well, I mean, it's not illegal. I just think it's disgusting.
But it benefits you in this case, correct?
I suppose the display of what's on the other side of the wall would convince people to stop bickering.
You think it's so disgusting, but yet you haven't thought about it for your own benefit.
Well, it's benefited me more than you can imagine.
There it is. That's how you need to think about it.
Yeah, sure.
Hmm.
Don't touch me.
Of course not. It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
First talking about your wife? No, that's...
Well, I mean, she does.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Uh,
Yeah, sure. That's fine. That sounds good.
Can I have that in writing?
No. Anything else?
He smiles at you.
Why are you smiling at?
Thank you, future father-in-law. That's all I needed to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks away.
All right. Did anybody have anything else they wanted to get done tonight, or is this a good spot to call it?
I've accomplished everything I hope to accomplish.
I think
Closing
so,
the noose.
as I think Felix wanted to recall the troops out of the town from burning off all of the
Okay.
properties and send out a group of troops to recover the head of the Blight Dryad.
Is he going out with that group?
Nope.
Then can I? Well, I would try it. I mean, if I'm familiar with like what happened there, I'd probably intercept them.
We can, if you want to.
we can pick that up next time.
And then
I think
play that out.
I think that's better to resolve next time.
Yeah.
We can put a pin in that. We know
Sure.
that's going to happen. That Felix is sending out a contingent to get the head,
Yep.
and that Beatrix is sending out a contingent of her own to contest that.
Mm-hmm.
And we will find a way to resolve that next session. We will be for next session. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do the council,
Mm-hmm.
the wedding.
Oh, nice.
That's one thing I didn't get to do.
The
Didn't get measured for your tux.
No,
Yeah.
I was actually going. I wanted to go talk to the mother-in-law and ask if I could push the wedding back.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
let's shortcut that scene.
No.
No. So we're gonna do council, which is probably gonna be not super long. Definitely not like the last one was. We're gonna do wedding. We're gonna do the contest for the head, I suppose. And then we'll figure it out. I said I wanted to do this in 3 sessions, and this is session 2. But if this needs a fourth, it needs a fourth. I don't want to rush it to a close, because this has been a lot of fun so far. But yeah, we'll figure out what happens to the head next time. We'll see how the lava does. Beatrix is at 2 notches out of 3. And then when the third one gets marked, shit's gonna go fucking crazy. Yeah.